Hello and welcome everyone to this important video. We are going to discuss here the reality engineering group around Tesla, what the status of the group is, how many people we have, what our total assets under management are right now, and why it is so important. Before I jump into that, just a quick recap. What is happening and why is this important? As you know, I have a totally high conviction, a total conviction, that we are living through the most important time in human history. It's called the robot and AI revolution. My job in this channel here and on X and on YouTube is to explain and predict three quantitative aspects of that revolution. Number one, the risk. The risk not for humans, but the risk that this is happening or not happening. Assess where we are at and predict the future based on the risk. Number two, the timelines. When is this whole thing happening? And number three, the economics. To what extent is it happening? When on the timeline? At what confidence, right? And that all is being translated into Tesla stock because I believe Tesla is the single entity and the single company that will capture most of the value. Now, not because I'm a Tesla fanboy or an Elon fanboy, even though I believe Elon is incredibly important to build the future for many reasons. But if Elon should start failing or go crazy or something, or Tesla starts failing, I will not be a fan anymore. I am just predicting the future, and Tesla is the central piece of the future right now. As long as it stays like that, I will focus on Tesla. So what is going on and why is this group so important? I mentioned in another video the three types of people we have right now on Earth. Because the robot and AI revolution is so important, you can classify people into three categories. The first category are people who don't get it. They either don't know about Tesla, that's very bad for them, or they have Elon derangement syndrome. And for political reasons, or because they don't like Tesla or whatever reason, I don't care about the reasons, they are wrong about everything. They think it's a car company. They think Elon is exaggerating. They think all of that stuff is not happening. I don't waste my time with these guys, even though I feel for them because they will be crushed in the future, unfortunately, by the robots. We should try to help them if they want our help. We should try to guide them out of the darkness. But we shouldn't try too hard because we have other things to do. So we should be there for them. We should never be, it's never good if humans, get crushed by something. So it's a bad thing. But we have to focus on building the future and understanding it. So that's group one. Group two, or type two, are the people who understand Tesla. We have a lot of them on YouTube, a lot of them on X. I know many of them. These are great guys and girls. And they understand all I'm saying. They say the same thing. Many of them are fundamental analysts. They say amazing, cool things on YouTube, but they're stuck in the mode like, oh, Tesla's amazing. I buy a bunch of shares. I have discussions with type 1 people to convince them that they're wrong. That's fine. Then there's type 3, the third type of person. They are a subsegment of part 2. They understand everything, but they also understand, well, we need to do something about it. We can't just sit here. We can't just have shares and make 90% a year. That's not enough. This is an opportunity not just of a lifetime, but of a civilizational arc that only happens once. So it is actually worth our time to focus on what can we do to actually capitalize on this whole crazy thing that is happening, but also on the fact that we understand it much better than some normie at Wall Street or something, that we have much better insight into the future. Can we capitalize more on it than just buying shares and holding them? And everyone has to be very cautious about that, because once you go into options trading or something, you are entering a territory where you handle weapons of mass destruction, financial mass destruction. Tesla can go up to 100% and you can lose all your money if you do it wrong. So it's very dangerous, but it's also something I think is worth doing if you have such a clear vision into the future. That is the group we are building. I call it the reality engineering group. There's a longer story what the strategic thinking behind that new academy is, this reality engineering, or I call it the Pioneer Academy, where there is only the level 1 is about actually trading Tesla and aggregating capital. There are more levels to this, but we are not going to go into that right now, where we actually start building civilizations around it, because we will have to. But for now, it's about maximizing capital for all of us and doing it together with smart people who understand how this works. And I want to give you a quick update. We just started that group, I think 3 or 4 weeks ago. I got a lot of distractions, so I'm a little lagging behind. Sorry for that, guys, but I just approved the second batch of applicants. I leave the link in the description, by the way, if you're interested. Ideally, you have over 500 shares of Tesla in your core position. Some guys here have 20,000 shares or even more. A lot of members have 500, 600, 700. And I will go into statistics more. But the group is developing very nicely. There are some preferred, we have a group, and I'm sharing some videos here and commenting, and also the group feeds in some insights. And here is what we have right now. And I will go into that in a second, why this is so important. So our members right now is 170 people. That's very good. Share price is just for fun here. And the total AUM, the total assets under management of all of us combined, is $163 million. That's not bad. We have an average holding of 2,367 shares. So the average holding of members is 2,367 shares. The median, so if you take the middle member, right, the member number, 85, has 1,033 shares. So it tells you, half of members have less than 1,000 and the other half more than 1,000 shares. And in total, we have 402,000 shares under our control. And here are some other skill sets. We know how it distributes here across the different capabilities that people can contribute. So here's, who's good at technical analysis, fundamental analysis, macro and geopolitics. We are asking if you join and apply to the group to tell us what you are focusing on. And go from there. So that is where we are at with the group. I'm very happy about that. And I want to comment a little bit why this is so interesting for me. And I know a bunch of smart guys, very smart guys who kind of do options trading, for example, who are totally Tesla focused. And these guys are pretty amazing. Some of them have amazing, success. And they're also very strategic and very analytical. So if you do options trading, it's very easy to get crushed because, you make, 200, 300, 400 times your money. You think you're God. Next thing you know is you lost everything. So options require tremendous knowledge and tremendous discipline, which is important. But what I'm seeing is that most of them are kind of sole lone warriors, right? Some have cool groups, but the mindset is still, okay, we are doing this. Maybe we are a bunch of option mercenaries and we are fighting this thing. And what I want to do is first of all, it's not just about options. I think this is a strategic group here. If you're a group level or type 2 person that actually doesn't want to go into options, that's totally fine, right? If you just want to hold stocks and are just curious about insights into these different areas, if you want to dabble around and trade around your core position, that's great. But this group is not just about making money. It's about finding other people who have the same view of the future, who are supporters and fans of what Elon is doing right now, which I think is very important because the world is complicated. We will need a tribe that fights for itself in that new future that will be very wild. It will be very brutal. And it will be, it will have tremendous opportunities and tremendous risks. And in such a future where things get wild and brutal and at the same time offer enormous opportunities, the one thing you don't want to be is alone. You don't want to be a lone, intelligent, knowing person who fights for himself. Not good. What you want is find other people who share your values, your view of the world, your understanding of the world, especially now that the world becomes so explosively complicated that you don't know anymore what's going on in other people's minds, right? You can meet completely delusional leftists or something, or woke people, and don't even know it, right? It takes the time to understand, oh my God, you are lost. So what's so powerful about this group is not just that we hone our skills in understanding the future, predicting Tesla and trading stocks and aggregating more capital and moving together as a group with that capital, which makes us more powerful. It's not just that we understand the next levels of reality engineering, not just stock trading, but also influencing the world, influencing Tesla, influencing the robot future, at the next level, when we have a little more capital, to actually actively shape what's happening. And then going further and creating new things. But also a third aspect that's very important, that we find other people like us who share our values. And that is what's so important about Tesla and Elon. Because the reason I'm such a big fan of Elon is not that I'm just randomly a fan of Elon. Elon thinks like me in many respects. When he says something, I can 100% agree. When he does political moves, I fully understand why, and I'm fully on his side. Why is this so important? Because my entire worldview and all my convictions that I came to in a lot of thinking processes and experiences, I cannot check if you have the same. It's too complicated because you don't know me enough. I don't know you enough. I'm not proven enough. You're not proven enough. Elon is that third point in the universe where I can measure myself against Elon and say, you know what? I have extreme congruence with Elon's brain. I just have extreme congruence. And I don't mean that I'm as smart as Elon or as capable. That's not what I mean. I mean congruence in how I view the world, how I interpret the universe, how I think politically, what I think is important civilizationally. All these things you can't even understand or test with me. I cannot test with you, but both of us can test it with Elon because Elon has so much exposure. We know what Elon is all about. And if we see that we are congruent with Elon, I'm congruent with Elon, you are congruent with Elon, then you are congruent with me. So Elon is the opposite of a Rorschach test where everyone sees whatever they want. With Elon, you can't see what you want. It's too obvious what it is. So if you agree with Elon, and I agree with Elon, you probably agree with me on a much deeper level than we could ever know just meeting each other. So that is why it's so important that we are forming a tribe and massively expanding our reach and capital, because Elon gives us the opportunity to actually form a real tribe where we have deeply congruent worldviews and deeply congruent values. And the value of that we are so understanding of what's going on and we can trust each other to deeply be aligned through Elon, is extremely powerful. And that's for me the thing where I'm most grateful for Elon. I'm not taking over Elon's worldview. I have my own worldview that just happens to be exactly Elon's worldview. And probably the same for most of you guys. Most of you guys are very thoughtful thinkers that know a lot of things. And you have come to certain conclusions. And Elon comes to the exact same conclusions. That's why we are fans, because there is a man who has enormous public exposure, enormous leverage. He can't fake it. We know he's real. And we understand exactly what he thinks because we think the same. So this is our way of connecting and forming a tribe where we can achieve two important things. Number one, we can help each other to be very, very smart and make a killing by predicting the future and doing the right trades. And second, we know that the people we help to make a lot of money, like you guys, and you also help me, that we can actually trust them to be on the same page. And that will turn out capital and a tribe that is on the same page, that has more capital, that will turn out to be the most important thing you can have in the coming 10 years. Because we will need to build new civilizations, and we need to be sure we have people we can trust who are capable and smart. So that is what this is all about. If you like it and are on the same page, you believe in Tesla and the future, apply to the group. Make sure you follow the application process so I don't have to reject you. And we go from there. We are winging it, right? There's no fully fleshed out roadmap, but I already have fun talking to everyone and we will figure that out. And we are already having a lot of success. A last point, I will make a different video on that. But a last point is also the fact that we have $163 million under management without even trying. After a few weeks of just me doing 2 videos on it and putting it on X, tells us how powerful this whole thing is. Because think about it. If you have 10 times more members, we have $1.6 billion under management, right? If we 300x that, we have more money than Elon, right? Can we have that many members? Of course, we can have 100,000 members. We would have more money than Elon Musk under management, our own money. That is very important for the future, because if we have more money than Elon Musk under management, and we are a tribe of 100,000 people who share the same worldview, our impact on the world will be very dramatic. We will be able to call heads of state and things like that. We will be able to call Elon. We will be able to actually make our voices heard and make sure in this crazy new time that we are entering, where the entire world and Mars on top of it, but the entire world will be redistributed to the people who have the best insights, the most robots, and the most AI, and the most capital. In that world, we want to be a player. We don't want to be a victim. And I think the magic strategy here is maximize your own capital, seize control of it, maximize it by learning exactly things we are discussing here. But then the second leverage is get together with other people who do the same and form a thing. And then we will have real leverage. So now you know the plan. So hope to see you. I leave the link in the description for the group. You can apply and then we go from there. I always want your feedback, of course. And I think the future can be great, but not if you're passive. We need to join forces and be very smart. So see you next time.